So I've pretty much assembled the sawmill now. There's just a few little jobs to do, like connecting the battery, installing the water tank, those sorts of things. And then I'll be ready to make my first cut on the Woodmizer LT15 portable sawmill. So underneath the crank handle here, we're going to install the push bar and the winch handle, which is used for advancing the cutting head. Release the locking nut, raise the arm, you need a bolt, washer, roller with a bushing in the center, another washer, set on the arm, washer, roller and a bushing, another washer, and a nylock nut. Bolt, washer, spacer, nylock nut, Now I'm going to attempt to unfold one of these saw blades. Watch out, they're lethally sharp. Wear some eye protection, some gloves on. Probably not that bad. You look at it, it's a bit scary. Definitely wear gloves. Cut your fingers off in a second. Okay. It's really sharp. Get my box cutter out. Okay, it's not as springy as I thought it would be. So let's see now. We gotta find the one that makes a figure of 8. Hold in this hand. Okay. That's it. Wow. Cut straight through the gloves. On the film's figure of 8. And then you gotta take the top one off. Top one in your right hand. Whoa! Man, it's like shark teeth. Okay. Grabs right into your gloves. There's a blade. There's only one way it can go. Let's see if we can put it in here. There's a blade guide adjustment tool in here. Nothing else. We didn't unpack. Okay. I have no idea what to do with that. It's all a bit of a learning curve. So there's an adjuster here, and the bolt needs to line up with the washer on top of the adjuster. And if it's not right, then you've got to undo it and adjust it and try again. Looks like it. Make sure you don't add any two-stroke oil into the mix. Well, friends, I think I solved the issue with the log clamps. Basically, they're in the completely wrong position. Like this, then they hit the crossbar and they don't go down below the level of the tracks. That means they'll be in the way when you try to load the log. So really what I have to do is take the whole assembly off and put it in another position over there, reverse it. I think what happened is that the video is old and they've made some upgrades since then, or possibly it only applies to the entry-level sawmill. For example, there are some strengthening plates for the feet, and these weren't in the installation video, so I didn't even know they existed. They go on top of the adjustable feet to strengthen them, and I know some people were complaining about the strength or the build of the adjustable feet, so I would have really liked to have installed those. I'm going to leave it for now because it means jacking up the entire portable sawmill and then removing the feet, and I don't want to do that now. I might do that in future. So what I've got to do is I've got to take these arms off and reverse the whole assembly and put it on the other side. I'm just going to take the whole assembly off, turn it around and put it on the other side. So you can see now that the arm goes down below the level of the track when you're loading. The only thing is now I'm going to have to put these back the other way around. As you can see, I made a stepped loading ramp. I hope it's strong enough to get the log up on single-handed. Seems to work fine. I think I'll have to strengthen it up a bit though. Some stones under it. Sure makes loading easy if you haven't got a crane. Well, it works anyway. Whew. Maybe I'm just getting too old for this stuff. I think if I leave the A-frame gin pole installed, they can use that. Okay, that's on the back stops. $15.5 without the bark. $13 with the bark. So 1 1/4 inches difference each side. Really, it warrants me propping that up. So we get a level cut, the first one. This is my neighbor's log roller. I must remember to give it back to him. I'll get a longer one. So I've got a long lever here. I'm going to try and getting this to the right height. Got some plywood here, equals to 1 1/4 inch. Logs like these that have been dragged through the forest, then the bark is completely full of dirt, and that dirt is going to dull your saw blade. So what you need to do is you need to take off the bark where the blade's going to enter into the log. I mean, really, what they do in logging companies is they debark the whole thing. They've got a debarking machine. That's too much work. You can also use a wire brush and clean it up, but I think there's always going to be sand in the bark, so you're better off taking it off. And mainly you've got to take it off where the saw blade enters into the log, because if it catches some dirt, it'll drag that sand through the cut all the way to the other side, and it'll really dull your blade quickly. Now, the guy from Wilson Forest Lands suggests you do it with a long-handled axe like this. Just chop at a slight angle, and you take off all the dirty bark, just left with clean stuff. That seems to work pretty good. That's his suggestion. Also, if you've got something like a carpentry axe, maybe that would work just as well. That works quite well, but I think having two hands on the axe makes it easier. Definitely easy with the two-handed axe. And of course, you've always got a draw knife. If the draw knife is sharp, it'll take the bark off really easily. But I think he's right. It's easier to use a two-handed axe. You can just see how much dirt gets left in the bark even when you take it off. Really, you've got to take it right back. Sadly, either way you do it, it's a lot of work. But there's no point in me getting a portamill with a debarker on it. They're expensive. I saw somebody selling a mill. It was secondhand. All the bells and whistles. $60,000 Canadian. There's no way I want to spend that amount of money. I just have to do a bit of work. You want your blades to last as long as possible. Think of it like this way. Yeah. So you might be thinking, what's the point of going through all this effort? Well, I want to use the spare wood that's on this land, the windfall, and the trees that need to be thinned out to build a temple for the retreat. And I want to do it with stuff that's here to reduce the carbon footprint and to make the building more environmentally friendly. So by buying a sawmill, then I can convert all the spare lumber into usable boards, posts and beams, and I can construct the entire temple that way. Also, I can repair the existing buildings and build meditation huts. And so that's the purpose of going through all this expense. And also, a portable sawmill has a really high resale value. That means when I'm finished, if I need to, then I can sell the sawmill on to somebody else. But what I've heard from most people is, once they have one, they don't want to get rid of it. It's just too useful. Right. Looks like we're ready to make our first cut. Okay, let's see if we can start this. So, make sure the fuel's open, that's up. Water's open. And there's a little water valve here for when you start cutting. Allows the water to flow down onto the blade. Set the width. Pull out the choke. And let's see if she goes. I'm going to raise the depth on the log a little bit. I think we need about there. Just check the blades working properly. Okay. everything's working there. Do make sure you've got earplugs in, and also protect your eyes.